Shabbat Shalom. Back in February, Rebecca, the boys, and I were able to get a great deal on a 3-night cruise to the Caribbean. Now, just out of curiosity, how many of you have ever been on a cruise? Wow, almost everybody. Right, Howard? Some people love cruising. Now, if you've been on a cruise, you know that a cruise is a different kind of vacation. A cruise is not going to Israel, where you get that spiritual rejuvenation. A cruise is not a trip to Europe, where you go and see all these amazing historical sites and read and study about the history of the location you're visiting. No. A cruise is all about hedonism. Cruise is luxury. Cruise is gluttony. A cruise is all about consumption and doing as little as possible for as long as you can. Right? That's what a cruise is. It's a nice vacation. Now, the hardest part about cruising is actually the night immediately prior to the cruise. Why is the night immediately prior to the cruise the challenge? Because you have to pack. Now, in the weeks, maybe the months even leading up to the cruise, depending on how long you're going or whether you're going to see Antarctica or not, you start figuring out what you need. You keep an eye out for sales. Maybe you pick up a new bathing suit here, maybe a new formal gown there. And it's a slow process of build up to the cruise. But the night before the cruise, you really start to pack. Now, I don't mean packing like my teenage boys did, where they could get everything in a backpack and just walk on the airplane. You pack like I pack. It might be cold, so you have to bring warm clothing. It might be warm, so you have to bring cool clothing. It might be raining, so you have to bring some rain gear. It's for sure going to be sunny, so you need as much suntan lotion as you could possibly get. And let's be honest, I'm an Ashkenazi Jew. I wear like SPF 4075. I have very delicate skin. And you're going to eat a lot on the cruise, so you have to make sure to pack some elastic stuff. Let's be honest. And you might go to the formal nights, so you have to bring something really nice. And you're also going to want to just lay on the chair, so you need to bring something really casual. And next thing you know, you're going away for a 3-day cruise with luggage this big. Because if you're honest, or if you're like me, there's going to be that one day on the cruise where you're nowhere near port. And you have to have on that day everything you could possibly need, because you're in the middle of the ocean and there's no way to acquire anything else. We are now entering the last month of the Jewish year. This is the night before the big cruise. Because when we get to Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and we are standing before God, there's nothing else that we can do to add to our luggage. What we have on those holy days is all that we've brought. We're in the middle of the ocean, and you're standing before God with only that which you've packed. Now, what do we need in order to pack for this cruise? What do we need to pack to be in the middle of that ocean before God? We need as many mitzvahs as we can possibly get, because you don't get any more opportunities when you're in the middle of the ocean. So tonight we begin the last month of the year. And 1 month from now, we're going to be right here in this sanctuary, reciting the words that we do on every year. On Rosh Hashanah it's written, and on Yom Kippur it's sealed. And we want to make sure we are as well packed as we can be for that moment in time. So as we begin now, Elul, tonight and into tomorrow and Monday, allow me to remind you to pack well. How can we, in this last month of the Jewish year, fill our suitcase with as many mitzvahs as we can? Maybe it's attending minyan or lighting Shabbos candles. Maybe it's giving even more deeply of ourselves to the poor. Or maybe it's giving generously to sustain Congregation Shaarey Zedek and the Jewish community. Maybe it's simply being kind to a person you meet. Maybe it's being compassionate to someone whom you might otherwise not be compassionate toward. This is the last month of our year. This is the last opportunity we have to pack our bags before we announce on Rosh Hashanah it's written, and on Yom Kippur it's sealed, and we're in the middle of that ocean before God. Now, I don't want to be so doom and gloom, because we know that the mitzvahs that happen between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur are also really important. And we know, because you've been on that cruise ship, there's always more to buy. It just gets really expensive. It gets really expensive. So while the mitzvahs matter, the mitzvahs that we do between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur matter, allow me to remind us what we already know. It's really the mitzvahs that we do between Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah that matter the most. May we pack well. May our cruise be smooth and calm and truly luxurious. Shabbat Shalom.